Douglas.
And I'm Emily Harmon.
And today's episode is...
Czech Nat.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself. We had to go straight into the puns.
We've got a few of them.
You have to lay them out
we'll
later.
just slowly, hopefully, deliver them in a comedic way.
So, today's episode is about Czech Republic, pet nats, sparkling wines. So, we're going to talk about quickly what pet nat is.
Yeah.
So, that's a short form for pétillant naturel.
Very good, yeah, exactly. So, pet nat or pétillant naturel is a style of sparkling where when the original fruity, sweet grape juice is in the fermentation process, so all of the little yeast are eating up the sugar, converting it into alcohol. During this process, we move the wine from tank or barrel into bottle.
Right.
And we let it finish in the closed bottle. So the natural CO2 that usually escapes, carbon dioxide, that usually escapes during fermentation is staying within the bottle and dissolves within the wine. That's what gives it a natural sparkling, pétillant naturel, pétillant sparkling, naturel, natural.
Perfect.
Or whatever.
Instead of what we're maybe used to with champagne or whatever else that gets done in a tank or in somewhere else and then bottled.
So when we're making traditional method, which is the champagne method, what we're doing is we're letting the primary, the first fermentation finish, so we end up with a still wine. We're moving that still wine, maybe it might have some aging or different things done to it, but we're moving that into a bottle, and then we're injecting more yeast and more sugar. We're closing the bottle, and then we do secondary fermentation where we keep it on in contact with the yeast cells, which then gives it these little biscuity bakery notes, and then there's usually an aging process with those yeast cells, and then it's released. So it's a longer process.
Cool.
So
there is another name for pet nat too, right? Would it be
ancestral?
Ancestral.
Yes.
So it's ancestral method.
Yeah, ancestral or ancestral.
Ancestral. Because it would have been the way that anyone else making sparkling would have made it.
Yeah. So if you see champagne or you see Crémant or method traditionnel, then it's
with
one
the secondary
method.
red.
And actually, what's interesting today is, I know we have actually, even though we said Czech Nat was focusing on pet nat, there's a bit of a curveball in here, but there's for a reason.
Yes, and I haven't
because
tried
the
this one.
one's very interesting.
So I'm very excited.
So Czech sparkling.
Czech sparkling.
So I think we should start with maybe my wine.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've had this one. So since we're in the Czech Republic today, Oh, so you're going to try the Tyke opener?
Oh, no. I thought you forgot about that word.
No! Forever. I might even start marketing some terrible openers, just calling them Tyke openers.
I wonder how many people are going to queue up to buy them.
I don't even know if you can... Does it have a thing on it?
Well, I think because I'd had a few drinks before today's episode, I felt like I was... My own punishment for myself was that I needed to be able to open the bottle of wine with this.
But I think you might make the other one. It might make things much easier.
Do not challenge me.
All right.
I think I've got it.
It's also made of plastic. Safety goggles might be advised.
Oh, yes.
She's a pro.
There was a moment there I was like, I don't know.
The whole coffee table flips. Everything's smashing.
Yeah, the bottle of wine's open, but everything else is destroyed. Yeah.
Perfect.
Right, so, can I?
Yes, please. I guess we were talking before we started recording about also what sort of grape varieties we see in the Czech Republic, and is there anything particularly special about the grapes that are there, or?
Yeah, I mean, we've got two different producers that are in the same region. So Moravia, which is kind of the epicenter for everything that's kind of interesting happening wine-wise in Czech Republic at the moment. I think there's quite a few natural wine producers. There's a natural wine fair. I think there might be two actually that happen in the year, and actually the wines are getting quite a bit of traction. The fairs are getting a bit of traction and a lot of attention.
This guy is like everywhere.
Yeah,
I mean
Koráb for me is like a wild card.
It's like swept the floor with like everyone this year. It's like
at the wine fair that I organised this year in Berlin, out of the 43 producers, this was a huge, like Koráb was a huge highlight for me and for
Yeah,
a lot of
people, yeah. Because every time I go to buy some, a lot of times it's been sold out or it's everyone's talking about it. It's been
He's the man.
a quick look on Instagram shows you how excited people are about it. It's great.
So good.
Yeah, it's really good.
So we've got 2 producers in Moravia, where this is a place where there's a mixture of different soils. So we're seeing clay, we're seeing granite, we're seeing quartz, we're seeing loess. Like there's a whole mixture of different soils. It's quite an interesting spot for producing wines. But back to your question about grape varietals, is when I think about Moravia and I think of Czech wines, we see quite a lot of French varietals. So we see Riesling, we see
Chardonnay.
Sauvignon, Chardonnay, we see Gewürztraminer.
Yeah. I know, because Koráb makes that one really delicious on leaves with the Gewürztraminer. It's so good.
I haven't tried his other one, which is 100% Gewürztraminer either.
Oh la la.
I know.
I'm excited.
Yeah, yes, we're seeing Gewürztraminer. I think there's some Chardonnay, some Austrian varietals like Neuburger. We're seeing Welsh Riesling, Grüne Veltliner obviously as well. So there's a little bit of a mixture of sort of east meets west.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So what we've got here is a pet nat, so made in the method that we just mentioned.
That we just discussed.
Yeah, which is a blend of Müller-Thurgau, Welsh Riesling and Riesling. So at least the Riesling and Müller-Thurgau, very aromatic grape varieties.
It's been a long week, so I'm pretty excited. It's my first drink.
It's been a long day for me. This is interesting. It smells like umbongo. It's got this very like pineapple-y, tropical juice, lilt, like almost like lilt.
Oh, I was just talking about lilt the other day. I said to Lucas, I wish we had lilt here. I love that stuff.
This is just the wine you need after skydiving.
I know. Yes, this is why she's had a long day.
Skydiving and a lot of wine after.
Yeah.
Diving through the air, diving through wine, arriving for a podcast. Yeah. So fermented in oak, apparently 20 days in the oak, wild yeasts, and then it's bottled with 10 grams of residual sugar just to finish.
To finish off that last little
bit of it, yeah.
That's really nice. I mean, this wine also this year was definitely something I was seeing a lot of friends post about, or people were buying it a lot. It's also another maybe cult favorite, would we say?
Yeah, I mean, in Berlin, this wine, there was a stage, particularly 3 years ago.
Yeah.
There was a stage where this wine was everywhere, like at industry standard, at wild thing. This was the wine that everybody was pouring.
It was like the go-to.
Yeah, it was just like, this is the cool new wine that everybody's pouring by the glass. It got to the point where I was like, don't show me another bottle of fucking Czech Nat. No, because it everybody everywhere so much, whereas now I'm over that.
And we can appreciate it. Yeah, totally.
I'm positive now, but
yeah, but I do think that happens. If you get something and you're seeing it everywhere, you're like, Lord, just give me something different.
But really, I love these wines because I think in the past they've been a bit funky. I know particularly with one of the other cuvées. So I know that actually, sorry, I forget that we're recording on video now, and I forget about the audio. So just for anybody that's tuning in on the audio and not on the video, 2017 Crème de Parc National from Dobrá, Vinice. Just to make sure that everybody knows what we're drinking.
Yeah,
wine.
They'll be like, what's that wine?
Yeah, very irresponsible, sorry. So yeah, I mean, again, on the natural spectrum, it's unfined, it's unfiltered. I mean, it's a cloudy wine. There's no sulfur used. It's a small. They're a small producer, 15 hectares, but I think actually very nice, very clean.
Very clean.
There was a stage where I actually listed their the Crème de Pinot. It was called Crème de Pinot or Crème de Vin, and it was Pinot Noir and I think a bit of Riesling. And there was a stage where you used to open the bottle of wine and it would just like, you'd lose like at least a third of a bottle.
Really? Yeah, so volatile?
Well, just they bottled it with too much residual sugars. There was just so much gas that when you opened it, you just lost so much wine. But that's not the case with this wine. It's got the perfect amount of bubble.
Yes, because actually I also think you could drink a fair amount of this and not be like burping like crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's a nice fine amount of bubble. It's not overwhelming. Which is actually maybe one of the things I like.
It's like a lilt with a vitamin inside.
Yeah, the a little like a
Lils
fizzy,
with
like,
vitamins, just
like
yeah,
a Barocca.
an effervescent, yeah, exactly,
Effervescent.
yeah.
Effervescence.
Effervescent vitamin Lils,
Yeah, okay.
which I don't know that's an alcoholic.
An alcoholic. I mean, I'd have that in the morning. Bring it on. Oh, it's really nice.
Great brunch wine, actually.
Yes, I was actually kind of thinking the same thing. Sorry,
No, it's nice
I
because
tried
it's
to
got.
eat that.
It's interesting because it smells quite fruity and it's got a little bit of exotic fruit, but very dry on the palate.
There isn't a grapefruity breakfastiness about it.
Dry, citrusy, quite
Yeah.
fresh.
Yeah, I really like it. Lovely. Is there anything else we want to add? I mean,
what do you think about this, Gwen? Food pairings?
yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head with brunch. I also just think, like, I don't know, I think pet nats are so nice for any occasion. I mean, we've done it before, we've done like late night
End of the
drinking,
night.
end of the night. It's so good because it's not, it's palatable, it's
It's
easy.
the bookend of the day.
Yes, it's the beginning, it's the end, it's the middle, it's the...
It's every moment.
It's a wine for all time. Just stick one in your handbag and off you go.
Yeah.
No, I really think that's, I think one of the things that's so nice about pet nats. You know, you can
Versatility.
yes.
Yeah, versatility for
Because
sure.
sometimes I think if you're buying a champagne or something, you think I mean, there never needs to be a special occasion for champagne, let's be real. But I think that these are a nice, like, you can make any moment a little bit festive. Everyone likes a bit of fizz.
Yeah, I think as well, this is kind of, I feel like champagne is great because if there is this sense of celebration and I don't know, it's not just about celebration when you drink champagne, but it feels it's somewhat luxurious when you drink it. Whereas this feels special, but it feels like you could probably drink 12 bottles of it.
Let's
and
call it
feel
business
like
casual.
You're not, yeah, casual, yeah,
Business casual.
I like that.
Because it's sort of like,
Business lunch.
it's a little bit, it does make it a bit more fun than just a still white.
Yeah,
Like you could bring a bit of fizz, but it's not so over the top fancy that
I like that.
the business casual voice. Weird, but okay, yeah.
Very good. Touche.
Cool.
Mm.
Yeah, delicious.
Yeah, like that. I love that it's got a little bit of that aromatic, slightly floral edge, but on the grapefruit side, and then very citrusy, clean.
Yeah. I think very easy one.
Mm.
Cool. So I'm really excited to try this next one
Let's do it.
because I haven't tried
You
it.
have to use the type opener for this one.
No, no.
That's not possible.
Imagine. I'd be like,
Actually, what's going to be very interesting is to see how you do open
oh
this.
god. And it's gotten a bit. I wanted to say
Because
sweaty,
I
but
just
that's not
remembered
the.
why. Oh my god, we'll see how we go.
Oh no! Oh no! Is it?
Oh no, wait.
Is it good that I'm wearing black? Should I not point it at
Don't
you?
point it at me.
Oh, it's not doing.
Swap
the
it
old-
around.
It's not doing the old twist like it.
I know. I'm gonna
Oh,
get to
shit.
it. I know. This is really funny. I just realised this now.
Oh
which is
no!
really
And the
funny.
capsule is open, so now I'm like, I've got sweaty hands.
Take
Oh,
it.
no.
I think you can take the. If it makes you need to make a decision whether it's easier for you with or without the metal. The metal might give you more grip.
No, the middle is.
I don't think it's
zero
gonna make
grip.
it any easier.
No, I think it's. I might have to like, not point it at myself. Oh my god!
I know. I recently opened this wine at a wine training and it just came back
You
to
were
me
like,
at this
"No."
moment. I didn't even think to warn you about it until this moment.
I mean, where to go? I don't, like, I honest to God don't know how to open this right now. I'm glad I haven't had a few drinks because this is.
It's
Like, I'm
good,
afraid I'm gonna, like,
it's good that
hurt
your friend
someone.
has and she's like totally laughing and just
No.
not helping you.
Why do they
But
put
she
this
isn't-
cork in here? This. All right, guys. I really want to
Do you
look at
hand it
this. I'm
over?
like gonna have it. I'm handing it over. Because I'm gonna end up. I don't know if any of you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, but there's an episode with baggy sleeve, and now I've entered baggy sleeve mum. So now that my outfit
Okay,
is like,
then you have to drink that.
all right.
It won't
Just
pop out,
okay.
trust me. It won't.
I mean, I
drink it.
okay. I'm trying not to put myself in the line of fire.
I know. I love that. Like you had it pointed at me the whole time, and
No,
now
I was
you're
pointing it at that.
Fuck off. Sorry, Gwen. I didn't mean to swear.
It's really difficult. I have weak hands. My hands are
It's
tired.
not. I climb. It's not about weak hands.
No, I tattooed
I've
all
got a
week.
very
My hand
strong
is
grip.
tired. I have a strong grip too, but my hands are
But
tired.
I have not been tattooing or gripping anything for at least
This
a day.
handle
So.
already today. Like,
Yeah.
it's like...
It's not to do with your grip.
It's all wrong.
It's just a shitty.
Like,
Here
what
we go.
the...
We're on it. We're almost there.
Oh my god. I'm actually
We're really
I'm actually got a
close.
sweat on. Like, I'm sweaty. Like, that actually, like, made me nervous. It was, like, upsetting. Like, I would hate for someone... You'd have to open
Here
this.
we go.
week.
No, just watch out. I'm joking. You haven't
I know! I was scared.
Right. No, so this, like, just
Wow.
to look at it, just to put it in, like, look how long.
Holy
Look how long the cork is. It's a very big cork.
I mean, So...
Gotta take your time.
I mean, I reckon they must be worried that it's that powerful that it's gonna like shoot out the cork. That would be the only reason.
No,
they
I
would
just
put
think
such
I don't
a
know if
huge-
it's been in there long enough that it hasn't shrunk down, so it's still quite tight.
I mean, it looks like it's got an extender on it. It's like, look at this. It's like a
This
line.
is like an episode of Austin Powers. Like, it's like Austin Powers being like on the floor in a puddle.
I mean,
right now.
I'm gonna put this here for the
Yeah.
people because that is a cork.
Down the hatch.
I'm just smashing all the glasses. Ooh, the color is pretty already.
I know. This is totally
wow,
you. It's like that
so pretty.
antique peach.
Yes, totally.
Yeah,
It's the
your
color of
colour.
the chairs.
I would say this is. I actually think this is more of like a sienna tone actually, than antique peach.
I think they can, if you put some
It's
white
on
and
it.
some sienna, might become a bit peachy.
Okay.
You have to trust me in that.
All right.
But I think they match. I think they look quite good. They're lovely.
Yeah.
It's a very nice colour.
We made it through that moment together.
Woof!
It was so funny
Like,
because
I'm
I had it at
sweating.
wine training recently and I was like, oh, I'll open it. Yeah, this is how you open a bottle of sparkling wine. And it was like, it went on for so long and it got to the point where some of the guys were like, I'll do it. And I was like, there's no way in hell you're opening this.
Yeah.
I am
Oh, my
opening
fingers
this.
hurt.
I've got it. Yeah, but it's really, you have to press that bottle against you and sort of.
Because I was
wind
like
it
thinking
open.
like, oh, I'm gonna show off my my skills.
Yeah, you
Nope.
did a good job of that, Gwen.
Nope, no skills shown today. Just
Oh, you
pain.
did. You showed your drinking skills.
I necked it.
Yeah, how to drink sparkling wine quicker than anybody else.
Just down the hatch.
How to drink sparkling wine without it bubbling up out of your mouth.
So I wanted to ask a question actually, because as we were pouring this one, of course there's more like fizz and froth going on. Do you think this might be a silly question, do you think there's a difference in bubble texture?
Yes, definitely, because of the way that this is made. So this actually isn't a pet nat. So we're drinking now the Quasi, or
I was saying
Quasi or Quasi
Quasi.
Crémant from Koráb, Petr Koráb. So also, this actually, Petr Koráb, one of my favourite producers in Europe, but my favourite Czech producer because of the wines that he produces. For me, I love that they have a classic finesse, however, an artisanal, slightly gritty edge. There's always this fingerprint.
They're quirky, they have a character.
Yeah, but he always there's always his like trademark where you have a wine that it's very well made, expresses the varietal, expresses where it comes from, has this complexity to it, but then this kind of edge of funk, but in
It's
a
still
very
fun.
interesting way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're fun, but they're adult.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So this actually isn't a pet nat, and I know that you had his pet nat and you had this, and I was like,
I
bring
know.
this one
Yeah.
because I think it's a way more interesting wine for us to discuss.
But one of the questions I had was, when I bought it at Fraulein Brüssel, not far from here, that it's sort of a half and half, that it isn't, some of it is made pet nat style and some of it is made...
Is that what you got told?
Well, it's what I understood. That's different
No.
from what I was told. What I understood is
No,
that...
so this one has 2 fermentations, not one.
Okay.
Yeah, so really interestingly here, so we see the first fermentation is made with Pinot Noir, and once that Pinot Noir's gone through its first fermentation, it then is mixed with unfermented Chardonnay and Pinot Blanc, and that's the second fermentation.
Aha, so that's why it's like kind of half and half, because then 2 of the grape varieties are basically being fermented like a pet nat, and the other half are being fermented like
Well, the
a.
first wine's almost like a pet nat, but it finishes its ferment. Oh, no, because it's not it's not really a pet
I think
nat.
that's why they had to call it this.
Yeah, well, it's method traditionale, so but it's unusual. You wouldn't usually use one varietal for the base wine and then use 2 unfermented juices for the second fermentation. So it's technically it is a Crémant. Because the first time I was like, oh, it's a pet nat, because I thought that it finished its fermentation in bottle.
Ah, okay, it doesn't at all.
Well, no, so it does.
Yes, right.
But the unfermented grape juice is put in with the
Right.
Pinot, and that finishes its fermentation in bottle with the lees,
With the
like
lees,
a champagne would.
Mhm.
The difference is, instead of adding a dosage of yeast and sugar, they're just adding unfermented grape juice to the already fermented wine. So it's I don't know, it's very interesting. Also, it's interesting because he's using champagne grape varietals, Pinot Blanc,
totally.
Chardonnay, and Pinot Noir.
Right.
Which I love this because I actually think this is like the colour of vintage for me. It's like
really pretty.
I think antique peach is
It's
the
totally,
perfect word for it.
yeah.
But like when you see this, it's got a romantic edge to
It
it.
is
I feel,
romantic.
yeah, it takes you back to the 20s with the colour.
Like you could bottle this in a completely different label and sell it to a totally different market.
And very interesting with this wine because I think that what's very interesting about this is it's a wine that if you're into really natty, sort of more obscure stuff, you're going to be like, wow, that's really mad. He makes wine like this. You're going to drink it and you're going to go, wow, it's great. But if you're into decent champagne too, you're going to appreciate this wine.
I mean, I took a little sip and it is smoky.
Yeah.
It is really nice.
It's smoky, but then there's quite a bit of fruit there. There's almost this red fruit, like it's got this cherry edge to it when you first smell it.
I already want to drink
Lifted
this.
floral notes, like the butteriness.
I want to drink
toastiness.
this while eating oysters with, like, even oysters with scotch on them. I would, like, down this on the side.
Such a good wine.
Yeah, really nice.
Yeah. I could drink that every day.
It's funny because it really, I think when I took the first sip, it is that surprising little, like, smoky edge that's so different to, especially pet nuts. I find them a little bit on the sweet side sometimes, or they have a little sugar left in them that makes them good breakfast wines. But this is definitely like a little surprise there.
This is a smoked salmon on toast.
I mean, I don't eat smoked salmon. That's probably why I wouldn't think it.
As
I
a
know, I'm
Scottish,
one of those
you've got
weirdos.
Scottish genes.
I know Dad is more into like
Kippers?
herring. Yeah, kippers.
Kippers would be good. You're not into that either.
No, I don't know why.
Smoky fish, mackerel.
Mackerel I like. Okay, mackerel.
Mackerel on
Mackerel
toast.
we're good. Yeah. But I'm definitely going the fish route. Yeah.
Fish and eggs on toast.
Yeah, right, I'm done with that. So I'm burping already.
Lobster.
Oh,
You
yeah.
love
lobster
a little bit of your
rolls.
cod mornay.
Cod mornay. I don't know if I do cod mornay.
Are you fucking kidding?
I don't know if I do it with this.
What would you have then?
No, I think you're on the right track with like a lobster roll. East Coast Canadian lobster
Get
roll.
your t-shirt out next time.
Sex, drugs, and lobster rolls. Yeah, really nice.
But amazing because I think a lot of people, I know that I certainly did, even as a wine professional for quite a few years. We all think about sparkling wine and we think directly of France, obviously
Right.
champagne, different Crémant, Pet Nat obviously as well with a French name.
Yeah.
Maybe we think of Italy, we think of Franciacorta, we think of Prosecco,
Yeah.
and then
And let's be real,
Cava.
are we not all over Prosecco? Except England. England still loves a bit of Prosecco.
Prosecco's mad.
Like
It's
they're
one of the biggest
wild for
markets
it.
for
It's
Prosecco
crazy.
in the world.
But the rest of us, like,
And
I
interestingly, it's like 60% of men that buy Prosecco as well.
really?
That actually pay for it, yeah, and buy for it.
That's,
Who are they?
who are you?
I can imagine being a lot of your clients actually.
I don't know.
Gay guys.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like Prosecco is a drink that is for everybody from every walk of life.
Totally. Yes, it is. Men, women, gay, straight.
Transgender,
Everybody.
Like it doesn't
The
matter
entire
like, what you
spectrum.
are, where you come from. Like everybody
Everybody
else
likes a
loves
bit of
Prosecco.
No, anyway, I think more people should be looking outside of what we were discussing, say, hang on, I'm going to start that again. more people should be looking outside of the regions that they're used to when they think of fizz. Because like you said, everyone thinks of Italy, France, maybe Spain with cava.
Yeah, or some kind of crappy New World attempts at sparkling often from the big brands. And I actually think there are very few countries that make awful sparkling wine. So you look in Italy, there's great sparkling wine.
Totally.
Actually, I could go really wrong. I think maybe I'll put my foot in that.
No, because I actually really like,
Austria, there's some interest. Some good pet nat though. Oh, she's like,
I'm an Austrian boyfriend.
Yeah, I don't like it. The mafia vibes coming out now. You are she's a tattooer. Yeah, it's like, don't touch Gewürztraminer, don't touch Austria. That's my turf, baby. Yeah, but no, pet nats. But maybe not tried. I mean, you've had some pet nat
from Austria.
Oh
yeah.
Pit nat.
Yeah. Yes, sorry. It's been a long week.
And that river runs deep. So we've got English sparkling obviously as well.
Delicious. We should get more on sometime.
We should, yes.
Let's talk about that.
Post baby.
Yes.
2 weeks from now.
So England's making great sparkling.
Obviously we're seeing these two very good producers here in Czech Republic. We're seeing some interesting stuff coming out of Portugal for sparkling.
Yeah.
Actually, all over Europe, it's all opening up. Really interesting bits.
Europe? There's some other.
So we have obviously Austria, as we mentioned, like Burgenland. We're seeing some people making some very interesting fizz on the pet nat style.
Yeah.
In Weinviertel, producers like Ebner Ebenauer making some more traditional methods sparklings that are good. We are seeing also Republic, Hungary, actually not so much.
They're not down with the fizz.
Yeah. So I just think sparkling wine being produced sort of all over the world now. We're seeing some interesting stuff popping up. As we said, a little bit of stuff showing up now. Pet nats in Austria, obviously Czech Republic. Look out for Poland because there's a lot more wine or vines or grape varieties being planted in
Even
Poland.
Croatia, I think, and all kinds of different places.
Yeah, and also like just more wine in general being produced and quality wine being produced in Greece, in Cyprus, in Turkey. Like I think now it's a very, very exciting time to actually be looking for interesting new wines from new places.
So I would say to close.
New frontiers.
No, I like it. New frontiers.
Yeah.
I would say to close, if you want to impress your friends, find some wine from some other regions. Like just take a break from France and Italy for just a minute. Those are the tried and trues. You know they're going to be delicious. But maybe it's fun to show up at a party with a bit of fizz from the Czech Republic. It has a great story. There's some great wines being made. Look at these beautiful labels. Just lots of nice things that are happening around the world outside of France and Italy.
Yeah, totally. So if you're in Berlin, the way you can find these wines, so the Dobrá Vinice from Rocket Wine, Petr Koráb from Fraulein Brosel, and
both great wine shops.
Equally in London, there's an importer called Basket Press Wines that specialises in Czech wine.
Really cool.
And aside from that, if you're looking for Eastern European wines, I would look at Newcomer Wines on Dawson Lane, which is a great wine bar and wine shop, and Gwen will feel particularly happy about that because there's a lot of Austrian
representing the Austrian peeps. Yes. Yeah. Perfect. Cool. So until next week, I'm Gwen Douglas.
I'm Emily Harmon. Check you out next week. Check us out.
I almost forgot to say that you can find us on.
I thought you were going to slip
I know.
in. Come
Sorry.
You can find us on Twitter. Juice_podcast.
Instagram at juice.podcast.
On our website.
At juice.show, where you can pick up a snazzy tote bag as pictured in the video. And you can also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find us at Juice Podcast.
Yeah, just Google. Go Google. Go onto YouTube, type in Juice Wine Podcast, and you will find us. Subscribe because we're going to be uploading a weekly video from now on.
Yes.
And obviously, if you are tuning in on the audio channels, we are available to be subscribed to on all of the audio channels.
Yes, everywhere that you find a podcast. So until next week, I'm Gwen Douglas.
I'm Emily Harmon again.
Cheers.
Cheers.